Hello, everybody out there, and welcome to there.com. A great place for a lot of fun. But today, what we're going to be doing is going through a little tour of the place. My name is Larrick, as you can see by the tag up above, and we can be on our way. Okay, I'm going to take a walk down here and check out there.com. I'll look around, I'll explain a few things about how it all works. We'll, I'll go over here and see what's going on in this little place over here. Okay, so this is a kind of a place where you can have a meeting, prearranged meeting of some kind, and have a lot of people come and have an event. So you can have all of those chairs, people sitting here, and all the people sitting here, and a speaker at the podium here, and have a little meeting. Now, when I click on this join MC button, it'll probably put me somewhere. Let's see what happens. Okay, it put me behind the podium, so now I'm the speaker. So you can see how this is not just a game, this is where real people can come and have a real meeting. That'll be more than just a chat room. So as I walk through here, we're going to show you some different things about there.com, but it's not just about there.com. This is a new way that I have come up with to take notes on life in general. I started out in 1959 just writing notes down, sort of a diary type thing. And then as time went by, I got more advanced and I used tape recorder. And then the tape recorder went to the same kind of deal, only digital and smaller. And then that went to a video, using the video camera. And now here I am at there.com using this format, which is really a better way to take notes. The point is that this is not just about a video game or a chat room or there.com. It's about continuation of my writings from 1959 on up to date. And a lot of this is done just for my personal indulgence and records. But also I'm trying to show what everybody should do. Everybody should join up to there.com and we can get together and have meetings right here. Okay. Okay, you might notice that I turned my name tag off. The reason for this is because I like to have as few things on the screen as I can, because all those little things are distracting, and it's not really that important who I am. I'm just a messenger. Okay, now we're just going to head on down the pathway here. We can head on down that way as we continue exploring there.com. Now getting back to this notes idea. Keeping notes over the years. And what's happened is, as you can imagine, starts out as just daily notes about things in general, and it kind of overlaps with bill notes and stuff like that. But then after a while, it starts to evolve into higher learning, instead of just little petty little notes of everyday things. You start to see a pattern, an overall pattern of leading toward a central theme of some kind. To make a long story short, over the years, I was gradually led to a new kind of project called Habitran. If you've never heard of the Habitran, then you should go to the Habitran website and do a little reading up. It's just one page, and check that out first so you'll know some background. I guess we could go over here and check out this little bar or restaurant place. You can also check out a short video on YouTube covering the development of the A7 Habitran unit. My objective today is to get you familiarized with the Habitran Organization and the general concept. We'll go in here and have a seat. This one's as good as any. Yeah, this'll work. To give you a little bit of background, I have a college degree and 20 years experience in architectural/industrial design, among other things. And over the years, I specialized in modular design concepts for buildings and structures as related to shipping and mobility factors. Since I am an avid camper and outdoors person, I naturally applied some of these concepts to camping gear and all the related processes involved. This led to research in survival in war-torn areas and surviving during economic collapse and such. This was during the oil crisis in the early 1970s, back when America was having to take its first serious look at what to do without oil. Suddenly, other sources like renewable energy and clean energy were becoming more important. And then there is the philosophical ramifications involved. Back in the 60s, the hippies were all saying that there is no one meaning and purpose for all people. Yet, from my perspective, we all have the same basic meaning and purpose, which is to survive and prosper. We all need food, clothing, shelter, transportation, education, communication, etc., etc. After that, what you do with it is where the differences occur. That is, there are degrees of priorities when you're talking about meaning and purpose. For instance, my first priority, meaning and purpose, is food. Second is clothes. Third is shelter, etc., etc. And that's the same for everyone. Without those, everything else is meaningless. And we're talking about the average person in the average situation. Consider this, what I call the motel theory. Way back in the early history of America, the thing to do was to go out and buy some land, or just to own land, and build your own house, build your own little empire. And then what happened? Well, they found out everybody can't own 40 acres in a mansion. We're going to have to cut back things a little bit to make this situation more feasible. So what they came up with was buying just a small house on 1 acre or something. And then that got too expensive. And then it was, well, we'll rent the house. And then that went to, well, we can get a motel for so much a month or so much a week. So let's go to the motel. What do you got with a motel? You got everything paid in one payment. Whereas with home ownership or rental apartments and things like that, you still got your bills spread out all over the place. You got one rent bill, you got one power bill, you got one utility bill, you got your sewer bill, and you got all these other bills that go along with it. And maybe in the long run it's cheaper, but in the short run, a motel is just one price, one place, one time, 1 week, whatever. And what would be smaller than a motel? Well, you could camp out in your van, or you could just camp out in a tent. So the logical conclusion is that things are constantly going from larger to smaller, from huge plantations to motorhome. So it was pretty obvious back in the early 70s that America is headed for miniaturization, compaction, mobility, amphibious capabilities. This is where the technology is headed. And as we go forward, we are seeing that things are being miniaturized, more compact, getting ready for space travel, and it looks like some sort of minimum living standard, some sort of universal minimum living standard needs to be developed so that you can say, once you have this particular factor, you've got all your basic needs. A turnkey situation. You go from having your payments spread out all over to making your payment in one place to making one payment for life, and you're done for life. Of course, that's just an objective on the horizon, but it's a good way to aim your efforts. And if you can get just halfway there, you're going to be better than what it is now. And that led to the Habitran concept. That is, habitation, transportation, Habitran. These are the two basic necessities of life: habitation, transportation. Without these, we're not human. And as they say, things come in threes: habitation, transportation, and love. Things should be to the point now to where all we have to do is pay one price, one place, turnkey. You take your item bought, which would be like buying a car, and you're also buying into an organization, all privately funded, privately organized. We don't need the government doing it for us. I mean, it'd be fine if they did, but they probably would never do that. Now, if you think you've got this figured out by this point, you are sadly mistaken, because I'm just beginning to cover the basics. In life in general, we have two systems. There is the generally accepted system that runs everything, and you can be a part of that. Or you can try to live outside of the system. You have two choices. Basically, what is needed is a third alternative. A third alternative life system. There's a new frontier out there. If all the world could get along and eliminate wars and poverty and quit worrying about overpopulation, what would we be doing then if our minds and resources were not being wasted as they are now? What if instead of being dumbed down, we were all smarted up? What great accomplishments could be underway? Okay, suppose I can just push a button and pop out a bubble. A bubble that would go with me wherever I go and help protect me. Yep, suppose we had such a thing. What would this mean to life in general? This could be the third alternative. Something like this, from high technology, from intelligent minds coming together and tackling a real problem. So come on down and join there.com and the Habitran Organization. We got lots of work to do.